First of all, I want to start by saying that, you know, I'm a mom who was one of the moms who was out here in the streets. I want to say that I also ran a gang way, you know, a long time ago. And then when I had my children, something said to me when I had my kids, it clicked in and said, you can't live that life. So what happened was I told my children when I had my boys, when they were little, if they ever put their hand on anything that did not belong to them, it would be their mother who called the cops on them. And unfortunately, I wound up doing just what I said. It started with Nasir, Rob going and breaking in a car. And him and his cousin came back and was talking about it. And when they were, I overheard it. And when I heard it, he went and broke into a car at the 35th District. And I marched him right back around the 35th District, and I had him locked up. And I think that was at the age of 8 when Nasir did that. Nasir, like, he went from breaking into a car, robbing people, getting a gun, and, you know, going through that whole bit of doing the robbery and the whole bit. He never got caught for nothing he did. It was me that had him locked up. The young man who wound up killing my son, and this is the young man that killed my son, they were friends, and he wound up killing him right there at Broad and Loudoun. I came home from church and found out that he had gotten killed. You know, we had our visual a year later, and after we had that, when we had the visual, I went around the corner and happened to see him around the corner. And I told him, I said, come here, let me talk to you. You know, that I wanted him to know that, you know, he's a Muslim. And I said, you being a Muslim, one thing I know that God says that he don't honor another man taking another man's life, and that hellfire gonna be your home. If you don't get this thing right between you and God, you're gonna wind up in that hellfire that he talked about. Unfortunately, he wound up getting shot 3 years later after my son got killed. Had nothing to do with nobody that we knew, because I would not allow nobody to touch him. I befriended this young man just like he was my own kid. He wound up coming up to the church, being a part, you know, coming in church, being a part of the church, the whole bit. And like I said, I befriended him like he was like he was one of my own kids. You know, I say everything that getting killed ain't innocent. At least I said mine, because my son, you'll talk about the shirt later, that my son was not no innocent young man in the streets, got killed. He was doing some stuff. But unfortunately, this is the life that he chose. I love my son, and I did, but I also, too, told my son, if you live that life, I know what this life is going to get you. Why? Because I lived it myself. I believe if we had an updated forensic lab, I believe that a lot of this stuff could help, and that moms and dad would not have to suffer like they suffer about their children. And also, too, that we could get the justice that they need, you know, with these killings and whatnot that's going on. Unfortunately, like I said, I was able to forgive, you know, too. And like I said, a lot of kids, you know, they're not innocent. We need to be real in the midst of it all, you know, for real. But today, my name is Pastor Dicie Gilmore, and I do a lot of work in this community and with these young people. I often tell the 35th District they ought to pay me my pay, because I do what they don't do, and I don't have to call them with these young people. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let me stop.